is the Segovia Show.
Hey YouTube, it's Andres and welcome to another episode of the Segovia Show. In this episode, it's basically a companion to the podcast episode that debuted this week. So if you missed that one, you can check it out. If you didn't, it's okay. This one has the visuals. What you see on your screen here is one of the events that I was announcing. This is the Real Estate Imagine event. This used to be called the California Association of Realtors Expo. They rebranded it about a year or two ago. They just liven up a big event here in California for the realtors. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and if you're interested, this is a place to go to. It's a lot of fun, and ever since they injected that whole youthful vibe to the whole industry, it's just become a lot more fun and more involved, as you can see some of the highlight reel here in the background. So definitely check it out. It's going to be at the Los Angeles Convention Center this year, and on your screen you should be seeing the master classes. Those are the only ones that are paid for. Those are September 24th, but if you don't want to pay, the event itself is free, and the expo is from September 25th to 26th. Again, this is the Los Angeles Convention Center. I'll be leaving links to any and everything that I talk about here in this episode in the video description down below. You can definitely check that out. And this is hosted by the California Association of Realtors, and I'm a member of the association as well. And I'm looking forward to going to this event this year since I missed last year. And another event that happens twice a year, they just change cities each time they do it, is the big $1 million trade show and Landlord Conference. So this one's basically an all-day seminar thing with an exhibit floor. They do it in the Long Beach Convention Center, and this Thursday, September 12th, 2019, they're going to be doing it at the Los Angeles Convention Center. And this is a great place to go to learn about the ins and outs of being a landlord and managing your property, whether you're a professional property manager or a property owner, and whether you have a property that has 2 units or you're renting one house out, whatever. This is the place you want to go to because you'll be able to talk to attorneys, talk to vendors, talk to different people that provide services for your units, from legal to basic services and maintenance. This is a place to go to. The entirety of the event is free, but I'm sure you got to pay for parking, so keep that one in mind. This one's hosted by the Apartments Owners Association of America, Inc., or Apartment Owners Association of California, Inc., the USA, AOAUSA.com. But this is, again, a place you want to go to. A lot of great lineups of speakers that are going to be here. It's an all-day event, and you're going to want to be in the know as to what's the latest happening both in the industry and that affect your property. Whether you're a tenant, an owner, or looking to buy, or somewhere in between, you're going to want to show up to this one. And again, it's free, so another place for you to go check out. Okay, I'm breezing by this faster than I am on the podcast, mostly because you have visuals. So the next one over is more along what's going on with my stuff. And yes, I am in the office, that's why you hear the phone ringing. But the thing is, I wanted to talk about the newsreel as I basically retired it as of this recording. So what I mean by that is that I officially took over everything. The branding will still exist for the newsreel.info. That URL is actually going to revert back to the blog spot that it used to be by, I think, this time next year. But you can still go there to check out the archives, which I recommend, because this will always live on as the archives of everything that I've ever done. I'm still getting traffic on this site, but I'm trying to encourage everybody else to go to my new site where I'm covering real estate tech and just general life items. But the thing about the newsreel is that this is a place where I talked about anything and everything, and I segmented them out, whether it was about cinema, whether about soundtracks, and of course my books and the tech corner. I always covered politics. And I'll get to that in a moment as to why I'm bringing that up. But this was the place where it all happened. That's why it's called the newsreel. It's kind of like a Twitter feed, so to speak. But this is where I put in more thought into something, more so than the back then 160 characters would permit on a tweet. So that's what this was all about. My opinion editorials still exist, and they're segmented off in this top section next to the newsfeed, where it breaks down from the Critic Corner posts, the Soundtrack Corner, the Tech Corner, my books, and my podcast archives. Almost everything I've ever done is up there. Not everything, but almost everything is definitely up there. And because I did change things up, that means I also changed the Twitter, where now you open the Twitter, it's going to show that it doesn't exist anymore, at least not the newsreel in that sense. Because for those of you that do follow me, I recommend you keep following me. because you'll see a refresh of the newsreel where it's now this. That's why I say I retired it. And so I'm gonna miss it. I loved it, but if you follow me on Twitter, you don't have to do anything. You'll just now be seeing an updated profile on that handle. Okay. And now that leads me to the items that are coming to my website. Well, the new website is this one, if you haven't seen it already, www.theandresegovia.com. And this is the podcast landing page, where you can check where my show is hosted. It's on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, which is also the same as Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, YouTube, Spreaker, Spotify, TuneIn, and CastBox. And of course, you can listen to it on my website itself. And you're going to want to bookmark my website, because if you saw the peak of this, the soundtrack corner, that's something that lived on the newsreel. I'm bringing it to the Andre Segovia Show, and it's going to launch towards the end of summer. Yeah, I'm basically going to be rehashing some of the episodes I've already done, so there'll still be some newsreel branding on some of the established episodes, more like a Throwback Thursday kind of thing, but I will be continuing series that I did not do because the project ended at the time, so I'll be picking up a new season of the Soundtrack Corner to introduce series like my top 10 film scores of all time on my list, which I'm excited to finally share, because I've been building up to that, and then the Andre Segovia Show project started, so I had to put that one on the back burner. And because I've been doing a lot of different things in the background, I'm bringing some other shows over to the Andre Segovia Show, I have to officially announce a delay on my third book, The Search for the Purpose-Driven Life. This is book 3 in The Many Misadventures of Enoch Bellagio. I was hoping to keep on schedule to launch it by the end of summer. I don't want to rush myself. This is the closing of the first arc in a series of 6 books, and I don't want to screw it up. And I still been writing. I'm 1/4 of the way through the writing process of the original manuscript, but I don't want to screw it up by trying to rush the editing and also just rush the writing as well. So I'm taking my time, and it's going to launch by the end of winter, but hopefully the wait will be worth it for all of you that have been following the book. So the book is delayed officially into winter 2019. Hey, it's my Christmas gift to y'all, so that's okay. And another thing I wanted to announce regarding the show, stuff that I've been doing, because if you haven't seen my Instagram on TV, yes, I'm on Instagram TV, there's things that I post there about behind the scenes from everything. So one of the things I've been trying to do ever since I brought it up in the Vox Apocalypse video I did on Instagram TV is that I haven't done this to YouTube. And for those of you watching that wouldn't mind bringing it up, I'll consider it for the future. And what I'm getting at is what I've already touched upon. What I used to do in the newsreel is something that I did in the early days of the Andre Segovia Show almost 20 years ago. I talked mostly about politics, political commentary, political analysis and economics and all that. And to stay sane in a time of, which was back then was considered like really heated debates, and it's worse now. I try to stay sane by also doing film reviews, and I did do that. I became an amateur movie critic, for those who didn't know, on the Critic Corner, and I was invited by different studios to go watch their movies, so I'm very proud of that 8-year history that I did movie reviews for. But that critic in me has always remained, and now with the crazy political environment that we have now on just about everything, if you haven't heard it before, I'm officially launching for members only an off-the-record segment to the Andre Segovia Show. It's a podcast that's going to be exclusively hosted on the Andre Segovia Show on theandresegovia.com. That's the only place you'll be able to get access to it. But it's open only for invite only. That I'm reaching out to those that supported the program since the very early days, that I want to invite them to the off-the-record stuff, where I could talk about anything and everything that I want, just straight through, where I don't have to worry about like so much, not so much the polishing part, but the censoring part, where I can just be me. Not saying I'm gonna be throwing F-bombs or whatever, dude. I'm not one of those that uses those colorful verbal enhancers. No. What I mean is being able to voice my opinion freely without fear of someone shutting me down. That's what the Vox Apocalypse that's why it was so scary, because of a lot of my colleagues were being shut down. And it's just crazy to see what happened and how Disney is stomping down on anyone that criticizes any of their properties because of what Disney's trying to do with their so-called inclusiveness. So there's a lot of different opinions out there, and there's other people out there voicing their opinion that I'm basically sharing too. It's just that they have more clout, they have more money, they have more support to be able to take that fight to the big dogs, and they got lawyers. And unfortunately, I, as a small-time YouTube creator, do not have the luxury of risking my entire channel to be shut down over one video. That's why I'm doing this as a members-only thing. I'll be starting off with those that supported the program from the very beginning, and I'll be inviting them over. And if you're interested to be considered for the next wave of invites, you're welcome to leave a comment in the video description down below, or you're also invited to reach out to me through the socials. You can follow me on Twitter, post to me on my Facebook page, and also on Instagram. You'll be able to find everything there at www.theandresegovia.com. So once again, as a recap, I'll be posting the event pages for Real Estate Imagine coming September 2019. Also, the big $1 million trade show and Landlord Conference. Those will be in the video description down below. But also, I retired the newsreel, so if you follow me on Twitter, you don't have to do anything. The profile is updated. But for those of you that are not following me on Twitter, please, by all means, you can discard at the newsreel, because that one doesn't exist anymore. You can follow me at _Andres Segovia. And I'm bringing the Soundtrack Corner later this summer, which I'm excited to reintroduce to all of you, because I had a lot of great content there, and I'm bringing exclusive content for members to the Andres Segovia Show. And I'm excited to share all that with you, because I have at least 7 recordings that are already done. They're going to air, but only by invite only will they be able to listen to those. So they will not appear here, but for those that have access, they'll be able to see it through here. And that's the last thing I wanted to touch on, I think. So yeah, that's it. And thank you so much for watching. Like, share, and subscribe to stay in the know. And as always, I'll see you on the next video.